Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's looking forward to an awesome week of volatility. Before we get started, just a reminder, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice and is for entertainment purposes only. I will say we throughout the workbook, but I don't necessarily hold any of the underlying, nor am I associated with Yieldmax or any of their advisors, sub-advisors, or any other companies. And this one will be a little different today. I'm sure some of you probably haven't watched my other video yet, but the ULTY trades were not uploaded, or they're not uploaded for today. So we won't be going over the trades, but we will be going over the holdings. And just to let you know, I did reach out to Jay. It was later in the day, but he did respond and confirmed that the trades will not be uploaded today. So, yes, I bothered that poor man. I did it for y'all, though. I did it for y'all. But anyway, I wanted to go over, I'm going to be honest with you, because I didn't have trades. I did an extra video tonight for the Yieldmax single stock named ETFs as a daily roundup. So I did that one just to see how that would go, or how that would look as a first, and maybe I do them this week just to see, and then maybe I don't do them anymore. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, at the end of the video, we were looking, and the holdings still hadn't uploaded for the Yieldmax single stocks tickers yet, but we did see that the ULTY data had been uploaded and stuff. So they got a little sneak peek into if you watch the video. But anyway, sorry, I got off topic, and I think I forgot even where I was going with that. But what I want to do, there's a couple of things. Oh, I know what I was saying, is I haven't gone in depth into this. So I've done a few formatting things in here, and did a quick glance over to see that we have different things going on this week. So sorry about that. We'll address those, and we'll look at those, talk about a few changes that we see, and we're going to look at something else. But first, let's look over our new holdings. So we already had ARM, and then it looks like we have a therapeutics company here. So that one's going to be new. The ticker is ATXS. And then we have Chewy. So we did have that one. And CleanSpark, Coinbase, Carvana, we had those. Then we have D-Local. D-L-O, D-Local. D-Lo is what I think when I see that, but D-Local. All right. So that one's going to be a new one. And look at this one. I know we've talked a lot about this one. Not necessarily in ULTY. Well, maybe it was mentioned recently about ULTY, but I know we had talked about the possibility, of having the ETF. I think one company had filed for it. I can't remember, though, if Curve had filed for it or somebody else. I don't remember at this point now. But anyway, you get to see it here. And in this one, GME, right here in ULTY, your very own. And then we have Robinhood. So most of us know what Robinhood is. And then MindMed, we had that one before. And then MSOS. Okay, so that was our cannabis stock, I guess. If I make it bigger, you won't be able to see it all on one screen. So we already had MicroStrategy, Nano, Imaging. I've been saying Nano, it's Nano X Imaging. And then we have NVIDIA. NVIDIA has now showed up here. And then we have PDD, Pinduoduo. That one's new for us. Gotta love those ADR fees. And we already had Root and Super Macro, SMCI. We already had that, and we had Sound Hound. And then we have a new one down here, Symbotic. I might just be calling that one Sim. I can see that trying to come out of my mouth wrong. Symbotic. But that's the first time I'm actually going down through the list to see all of the holdings. Next, what I want to do is see if we can locate these on here. Max had said something in his message this morning about some of these being about earnings, and I think we had talked about that one last week or something. So, but look here, like I'm spotting one already. I knew Chewy was on here, but D-Local, I know this is like so awful, me trying to do that. I feel like I need my glasses on. So nothing else on Monday. So I looked really good at Monday, but I will say I did cheat. I saw Pinduoduo on here, and I knew Chewy was on here. But I have not, like I didn't know D-Local was even on the list before. Let's see. It's like, where's Waldo? And I know if there is another one, y'all are probably like, it's right there. I'm trying to look at the tickers just to make sure. Because I might not have remembered the full name, but I would remember the ticker. But no, ASX, that's different than the other one. So it looks like we only have 3, unless I missed something. We have 3 on there out of ours for this week. Let me just double check this ASX. I remember AS and something. ATXS. So it had 3 of the letters in here. But okay, I wanted to go over those. I wanted to look to see which ones they had for earnings this week. And then one thing I forgot to do is count the tickers to see if we really do have 20, since our formula's been messing up, or I don't know what the deal is, but okay, yes, and y'all are probably like, why are you doing this with us on here? But that way I can know that that's accurate. And then, I don't know if any of y'all cheated, but if you saw some new things while I was scrolling down through there. But let's just get on through this. So I will say I did hide the columns that talked about were they new or not or whatever, because I have those. I don't know why now. The right side of this is wanting to, I think before when it did that, if I went to another tab and came back, there we go. But I hid the new and old and not even try to fill them in. Because we know which ones mostly are new, and I didn't go back and compare to see if they added more shares, between the days. And I figure we'll just go through it the way we have it, okay, and hopefully that's all right. But let's just start going through these. So we have ARM here, and we have short call. So I didn't change my color codes either. So yes, the 22nd is this Friday, and I'd had to get on the computer to actually do that, and I don't have my computer with me right this minute. So the 22nd is this Friday, so this short call will expire then. And we have a strike price of 137, and then the current price is about 130. So we're about 5.5% to that strike price. Sorry. And then this one was arm rate. So obviously our short call is brand new, and then they may or may not have added to this synthetic. So just this last one, wasn't it? Arm 117, yeah. What I've seen before when we've done this, just, if they had a synthetic with no short call, more than likely when they created the short call, they added some to the synthetic. That isn't going to always be the case. And like I said, I did not look them up to try and see, and just decided to go with what we have. But yeah, you can see that they did end up adding to that. And another thing I realized I didn't do until just this second. This is what you get when I just decide to go with what I got. But yeah, I forgot to go through and delete those extra lines. But you can see our strike price here is 135 for our synthetic. So we are 4% below that strike price. And just as a reminder, for our synthetics, we want to stay above the strike price, but for our short calls, we want to be below our strike price. And then you can see the market values over here. And I'm trying to think, I guess on this one, on the ULTY, I do not have the market values added up. But then if we go over to the right, we can see that it did close up 2% today. And then if we go to our next line, we know all of these are new because it's a brand new ticker, which I've already forgotten, therapeutics. That X in there is going to confuse me and make me think it's pharmaceutical, but it's therapeutics. And then, so if it was just one of these, I would think, well, maybe something got messed up, but there's several of these throughout here that you will see that that these short calls, but they're the same expiration dates as the synthetic long positions. But yeah, they're the same date. So you'll see that on several of these. So those three have the same. D-Low, they have the same. GCT. So I don't know. I would assume that because it's happened multiple times, that that's what they're going with. It's just different from what they've been doing. That doesn't mean they won't close it out early, right? But I don't know. I see it's a little different strategy if that is what's happening. And I don't think, if it was a typo, I don't think they would have done it for multiple, multiple tickers here. So, I don't know. My guess is, and again, purely my opinion, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So just take that for what it's worth. My thought is maybe they're just putting it out longer, just in case, but then they could still close it earlier to still make that the extra money on it or whatever. But I don't know, because it's something totally different. They haven't done this at all. This is something brand new. But anyway, so we have for this new therapeutics ticker, their short call and their synthetics expire the same day, which is April 19th, which is 3 weeks from now. I think today is March 18th. Did I say 3 weeks? That's a month from now. March 18th, yeah. And the synthetic strike price is $15, in which we are, let's see, the share price is $15.61, so we're above that by 4%. And then we see our short call, which is $17.50 strike price, and we have 12% before we get to that strike price, or underneath that strike price, I guess is what I should have said, sorry. And then, so we don't really have the trade, so we don't really know how much they made there on premium, but you could guess by looking at these, maybe they brought in a couple of $100,000 or so off of those. But if we look here, of course, in this case, I mean, this is a new one for us, but it rose 1% today, which was only, about 15 cents. So, all right, so we have Chewy. Chewy has a new short call this week, which will expire Friday with a strike price of $19. The stock closed today at $16.84, and we are 13% before we make it to the strike price. If we look at our synthetic positions, the strike prices were $17.50, and we are 4% underneath that strike price, which is the reason we are showing red there. And then if we scroll over here, we can show that the stock price went down 3% today. And I just realized why this is seeming a little weird to me, because I moved this around, and I'm sure y'all probably noticed it up front, but I did this like Saturday. It was part of my half a day that I spent doing this stuff. So I don't think this one was for the video. Maybe I did use, no, I didn't use that one for the video. Yeah, I did this after the fact. So this is the way it was before. I had them up front. So when I read it from right to left like that, that's the way I'm used to reading it, is the price and then the strike price. So I guess it's throwing me off reading the strike price and then the price and all of those. So, yeah, so I did change that up. I forgot about that, and I forgot to mention it. And the other thing is that I just did the percentage of the change versus having the dollar amount and the percentage. So I could put both there if you wanted, but I ended up just leaving the percentage, so y'all just let me know. But at least now I remember why it seems so weird. Okay, so then we have Clean Spark that has a short call, a new short call that will expire this Friday with a strike price of $18.50. We closed at 17. They closed at 17.46, and so we have 6% before we get to that strike price. And I guess we'll go over the synthetics here. So our synthetics, since our price, close price was 17.46, we are, well, and our strike price is 18, we are 3% below that. So if we go on down, it looks like it only went up 3% today. Clean Spark. We did have one, but I'm going to have to, that was another thing that I was going to show y'all, but now, because I forgot about it, of course, I don't know, I'll show you at the end if I remember, but it's not going to be fully updated. But anyway, let's move on to Coin. So Coin, we have a new short call here with the expiration date of Friday. The stock closed today at almost $240. The strike price is $257.50, so we are about 7.5% from the strike price. And for our synthetic, the synthetic strike price is $260, and so we are below that strike price by 8.5%. If we go over to the right, we can see that the stock actually went down 1% today. If we move on to Carvana, we have a new short call that it will expire this Friday. The strike price this week is $85. And we closed at $80.79, so we have a little over 5% to that strike price. And our synthetics are above the strike price, so we're good for that one. So we won't go over those. And so if you haven't watched these before, if the synthetics not red or not like coming close to, we won't really go too in depth on that. But the stock for Carvana was up. Hold on, I must have scrolled down. Yeah, was still up 2%. So both of those were up 2%. So then if we go to D local, our short call, so these will all be new today. So we have our short call of 19 with the $19 strike price. It actually closed today at $18.18, so we have 4.5% or 4.5% away. I might have to move these columns around again. But yeah, I mean, it's such a low thing. It seems like a high percentage, but it's only like what is that? 82 cents. We're 82 cents away from that. We have our synthetics. They're $18, so we are above those, but those were new. And then, of course, you can see that it went up 2% today. But there's another one of those where the short calls and the synthetics all the same. It threw me for a loop at first because of the way I had my formula set up. So all these things said synthetic everywhere. And I had to go through and pinpoint the short calls out of all of them and change my formulas. Or not change the formulas, overwrite my formulas. But then we still have Giga Cloud here. Was that the one that went? Anyway, okay. So Giga Cloud short call, it's new short call with a $40 strike, and we are 17% below that at $34.21. And then our synthetics strike prices, I'm pretty sure we had these last week, but they were $30. So we're still looking good on those. So I didn't have to cover that, did I? Sorry. Yeah, this is the one that I was thinking. It's down 21% today. I went out there and I briefly tried to figure out what happened, but what I saw was last week, they went up on Friday because of earnings, I think. I don't know if it was after, it should have been in the morning, if anything, because they usually don't have earnings after the words. But then I saw something about they had their conference call this morning, which I thought was odd. And maybe I misread, but that was really the only news article I saw about it. And then I thought, well, I guess something came out this morning. I don't know. But that's like $9, 21%. I saw that today and I thought that was crazy. Or this afternoon when I got off work. It was an in-office day for me, so... All right, so we have GameStop. So we know all of these are new. So GameStop has a short call that will expire Friday with the strike price of $15. They did close at $13.91 today, which is almost 8% below the strike price. And then their synthetics have a strike price of $14 that will expire next month. And they're actually below that already, but only by 9 cents. Looks like we have 1,043 contracts. And then it actually closed down 2%. Which I guess makes sense while they're under the synthetics. They might have been over it when they bought the synthetics, but... And then yet another new one, Hood. So Hood, the first line is them actually owning the stock. So I don't guess I actually need this here. So we'll clear this out. The second line here is going to be their actual short call. So they don't own the synthetic, which would mimic owning the stock. They're actually holding the stock here for Hood. Jay did mention in our call about getting towards where they would start holding the stocks. So I guess maybe they're going to test it out with this one. I can only assume, right, it's my opinion, but I can only assume based on them doing one and not a bunch of them. I know we've talked about, or it's been talked about before, it's cheaper to, supposedly, because I've never done the math on it, but it's supposedly said that it's cheaper to own a synthetic position versus actually own it. Well, now that I say that out loud, I guess it's not really supposedly, but it's cheaper to own a synthetic, the long call and put, versus owning the underlying. I don't know. This is a fairly cheap one. It still probably would have been cheaper the other way, but anyway. So maybe this is like them testing out. Actually, let's holding it and let's see how it's going to go. But I'm not sure what the purchase price was. All we know here, right, is that they closed at, I don't know why, but they closed at 18.21 today, and then the short call that they have on this will expire Friday, and then the strike price for that short call is $19, so they are 4% below the strike price. And you can see here for where they actually own the shares, this is, shares of the underlying, it's 81,800, but then we're looking here, right, the actual short call, the option short call, it has, 818, which is the number of contracts. And each contract has 100, so when you take that and multiply by the 100, it would be 81,800. So we will go over, and then of course I wasn't thinking when I did this one. Well, let's see. Oh, I wasn't thinking. Because this is doing, as you can see here, and I just deleted that price. So I wasn't thinking. I can leave that there. What I'll do, I'll paste that there just to get that there. Since I am on my iPad, it's not as easy to change if I was on my computer, which I did since I figured out my issue with the mute. I started to record it on my video on the computer again last night or this weekend or whatever. But honestly, I just felt like even if I put my headphones on and headphone combo, or even if I was just without using those and just talking, I felt like the quality wasn't as good as when I'm sitting here on the iPad. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out another day and y'all can tell me. But I did it both ways and listened to it. When I had the headphones on and the microphone, it seemed like there was sort of like an echoing. And the other way, it just seemed to not be as clear. But anyway, so yesterday's close here, it looks like was $18.15, and then Robinhood current price was close price was $18.21, and so obviously it shows 0% because it was 6%. So I sort of want to change current price to close price, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's one and the same by the time I do the videos. But anyway, okay. So that's what it looks like when we hold the underline. If you didn't see it, because the only other day that we actually held the underline was pre-market on the first day it traded. And that was it. So, and then we go to Mind Medicine. So we have a new short call, and I think I made that a different color because, which then I didn't do all the rest of them because I didn't see the rest of them until after the fact. But the fact that they all said synthetic, and then I had manually changed this one. But then I did a bunch of them, so don't worry about that being a different color there. But our new short call for this week is $11 strike price. They closed at $9.91 today. We are 11% below the current this strike price. Whew. And we're above our synthetic, so our synthetic is looking good. And then I guess I forgot to do them up there. It's all good. I just tried to, if it was possible, I tried to delete out duplicate stuff or whatever. That's why it takes me a little bit of time when I'm manipulating the data. But they ended up closing up 8% today. Not quite $1, but a little bit there. And I think that one was a new one last week. But then we go to the cannabis stocks. I think we've had this one for a while now. We have a new short call, though, this week that will expire Friday with a strike price of $10. And we are below that by 5.7% at $9.46. And we are above our synthetic, so that's looking good. And then we'll go over to the right, and we are up 7% on that stock today. Or not stock, ETF, excuse me. So then we have MicroStrategy. And we thought the short call for Yieldmax was crazy because I believe that one was like 17,000 or 17,000 1,750, I believe. But yeah, I can't get that pulled up quick enough. But I'm pretty sure because I remember thinking that's crazy. And I think pretty much Rod said basically the same thing on his video this morning. Oh no. So actually, it's 1,850. But if, in case y'all didn't already know, this stock dropped 15% today. So yeah, I covered that on the roll-up that I did before this, or the roundup, the daily roundup. And MicroStrategy dropped like 15-something%, and the Yieldmax Misty only dropped 9-something%. So that's significant to point out. But we have a strike price now of on this one of 1,635. So I don't know. I guess they expected to keep going down this week. I have no clue. I don't even know what's going on, honestly, with it or why it went down so much since today. I didn't listen to a lot of my podcasts most of the day. But anyway, it did actually end up closing at 1,500 ish. So we are 8.8% below the strike price. I swear, the later it gets in the day, the less I can talk. So if we go on over, so you can see, of course, that's a rounded amount, 16%. We started, or we closed Friday at $1,782, and then we closed today at $1,500. So that's a significant decrease. Okay, so then we go to NanoX Imaging, and this one's short call shows it doesn't expire until next month with the synthetic. The strike price is $12.50. The stock price is almost 10% below that, and we are above our synthetic strike prices of 10, so those are okay. So if we move on over, we were up 6% on that stock today. NVIDIA, so all of these will be new because we didn't have NVIDIA last week. So we have a short call that will expire this Friday with a strike price of $955, and we are currently, the stock price is currently 8% below the strike price at $884. You see we have 17 contracts there, and NVIDIA was up 1% today. And then we have PDD, we have PIN Duo Duo. All of these again will also be new. The short call will expire Friday with a strike price of $142, and they are 10% below the strike price at $128.71. There's 120 contracts, and they closed up 4% today. If we move on down to Root, so we have a new short call this week, a strike price of $70. It does not expire until next month, and we're over 18% below that strike price at $59.13, and therefore they're 1.5% below the synthetic strike price of $60. And they were actually up 12% today. So that is something there. So we have SMCI, so we have a new short call this week, which will expire Friday with a strike price of $1,060. We are currently 6% below the strike price at $1,000.68. And we actually closed 6% down. $68 down today from Friday. Okay, if we move on down to SoundHound, we have a new short call that will expire Friday with a strike price of $8.50. We are currently 3% below the strike price at $8.24. And we were down 8% there today for about almost 70 cents. And then we have this new one, which I'm probably going to call Symbotics. I remember, because I remember when I said it. So Symbotics. So all three of these will be new. So we have a short call expiring Friday with a strike price of $47. We are under the strike price by 4% at $45.13. And you see we have our synthetics here with $40 strike prices there. And we have 327 contracts, and they were down 1% today, which was on like 23 or so cents. And then the cash is $31.6 million. Interesting. So let's see. I usually don't pay attention. I don't know why that's only $95,000. Okay. All right. I know they're in the middle of transitioning and doing things, but I would expect that there would be more money, less cash, and more in the money market. But we will see what happens tomorrow. Maybe they're holding on to a little bit of it. I don't know. We will see. And we have 3 of these that have earnings this week. So I want to remember which ones that had earnings. Well, there's no sense in me highlighting them because I was going to say I'll highlight them on the my template, but they're just going to all move around and change. So, yeah. Excuse me. Okay. I was just trying to check the top. I was just looking at the market value and the tickers, and I'd removed that. All right. And then we didn't have any trades to go over. So, yeah, that's going to be it for today. Sorry for the adjusted format again, and then just sort of getting in the groove of that, and then looking at some changes as far as our new tickers, and then of course looking at earnings for this week to see some of those that we had earnings for. Oh, I know what the other thing was. That, well, that's not even what I want. Sorry, I don't even know what I want here. Of course, these are not going to be up to date because our holdings changed here. So I will update this. Yeah, so I guess it means we don't have Groupon anymore. So I don't know if that was a good thing or right. I don't think we had Groupon, but I see they went up 14% today. I'm like, I just went over it. You think I would know if we had Groupon, right? So I guess that means that, yeah, they must have sold the synthetic positions they had for Groupon today. So I think we'll go ahead and take that off. And then we still had Root, so we know we had that. And then we had Mind Medicine, we had NanoX Imaging, MDGL. So that one we did not have anymore. So that'll be another one take off there. And then we still have ARM, right? Yep, we have ARM. We had Carvana, Mara. No more Mara. Say bye, bye, bye. And it's funny because MicroStrategy's tanking, assuming based on Bitcoin related, and then here Mara, of course, is doing the opposite now. All right. So then we still had the Clean Spark, and then ULTY is just the one I had at the top for all these. We still have Coin, and then we had Root, but we don't have Riot anymore. So we sold out of Mara and Riot, yet we kept Coin and MicroStrategy. So I'm going to undo that one. I didn't think about the fact that we had all 4 of those in there. I forgot all about that. Or I never thought about, all that together. So Riley, that one didn't last long. I think that one was only there a couple of days, maybe. All right, so we're done with Riley. So that one's gone. And then we still had Chewy because they have earnings this week. So we do not have the biotech ETF anymore. All right, so that one was sold, closed out. And then we know we have SMCI, so we do not have the SNDX anymore. So that was closed. And then we still have SoundHound, we still have MicroStrategy, and we still have GigaCloud. So you can see by looking here at our the ones that went up the most, which was Root. I say that, but I don't remember that on here. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's the one we just did, right? Duh, I just said it was 12%. Okay, just making sure. And then our lowest one that went down today, of course, was our GigaCloud one. That was the one that we'd said it tanked and was down 21%. And then MicroStrategy. But yeah, so I had done this so then I could see where everything was at. Now I can adjust these. The bad thing about my watch list is now that I've got it out of order, I don't remember how to get it back in order. I guess that's the only downside to Moomoo. I absolutely love Moomoo, and I've used Moomoo and Webbull and Fidelity and E-Trade, and I think there's another one that I had for some reason or another. Oh, well, my husband has Vanguard. We had Charles Schwab because something was transferred there from USAA. And honestly, I like this platform more than anything. And if any of you out there use Moo, let me know. But the one thing that I can't, that irritates me, and I haven't figured it out, is how to sort an alphabetical order by name in a watch list specifically. Like I can do it for the accounts and my account, and I can sort by alphabetical order or whatever. But in my different watch lists, I can't do that. Actually, before I just sorted this, I think I had this in order, but it was because I manually changed it here. And oh, not there. When I actually, I guess I can't do it like this. But I like had them in alphabetical order, and I put ULTY at the top. But once I just sorted it here for to be by change, then it changed it. Oh, that was undo. So when I just did undo, then it took it back to the way I had ordered it. So the only way I got it, because I had, like I said, I put ULTY, and then I put all of these in alphabetical order. When you go to edit this, you can actually move all of these on here. But anyway, I was going to just show you this right here. Of course, like I said, I forgot about this, but the good thing is, and I'm glad we went to it, because we could see those that were closed out, since I had to add them on here, and we could just go ahead and remove them and go through them. But anyway, I would turn it the other way, which is the better view, but this is, since we're videoing this way, I didn't want to turn it. But sorry for the long video. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll see how tomorrow goes. We'll see how these look, see if any of these get closed out earlier, and then maybe we'll have those trades for tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you have a good day. I'm going to go work on the Yieldmax single stocked ETFs, and surely to goodness those holdings are posted at this point, so we can get that video done and out to you. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. But then again, I would have thought it. Usually the holdings are posted at the same time. But yeah, I'm not sure. I see it's still not. There we go. It just took it a second. So yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let y'all go with this video, and then I'll move over and create the Yieldmax video. And you can see here just by looking, I've already made some changes to this one as well. It was something I worked on this weekend also. All right. Well, I'll let y'all go. Bye.